we have these crossroads. And you know, either way you choose, your life is going to be different.
The universe doesn't exist, but God thinks it does.
We have to stop consuming our culture. We have to create culture.
Stupidity has a definite evolutionary function. I am all for abolishing stupidity, but before it goes, we should pay tribute to it.
Hello and welcome to the Nonsense Bazaar. We are your hosts, Willow of Truman.
Oh, you did it.
I did do it.
I'm Sequoia of Kennedy.
Thank you.
God damn it.
Thank you for doing the bit.
All right. I'll do the bit.
Yeah. So the bit, we're talking about two women today, Christina of Markyate and Hildegard von Bingen, or Hildegard of Bingen. You know, so
Von sounds better.
Yeah. She's also known as Sibyl of the Rhine. That's like her second name.
Oh, okay. I've heard that.
It's a cool name too.
This feels weird. I'm not used to getting the history lesson.
Yeah, and also we're traveling like far back in time this week.
Sick.
Like to the early 12th century, far back.
Sick.
And
hell yeah.
Like originally I was planning on doing an episode about some Project Montauk, Project Looking Glass type shit.
Done a lot of projects lately.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I need to step away from it all.
Yeah.
A spirit, you could say, guided me to my bookshelf and was like, you know what? Your next topic is going to come to you now. Just pick out whatever book calls your name.
You needed to reject modernity and embrace tradition.
Yeah, literally. Literally. And the spirit called me to this book on my shelf called Medieval Women's Visionary Literature.
Okay.
And this is from a college course that I took in my senior year.
Cool.
I left a slot open every semester for like a fun class, you know, something that's not part of my major, but I can take for fun. So I chose this, and then I quickly realized, ooh, this is an advanced English class. I haven't been taking any English courses for my entire college duration. I don't know how to write anything.
You got words?
I do, but it was too much. I was taking 19 credits. So I basically just stopped showing up to this class.
Hell yeah.
Even though I was very intrigued by the content.
Yeah.
So I haven't really read the book.
I did that with my deviance and social control sociology class. It was at 8 o'clock in the fucking morning while I'm doing that shit.
Yeah, this one was at 8 o'clock at night.
I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't want to, but.
Right.
So you haven't read this book that you're going to be talking about?
Oh, now I have. I have it. I was like, oh shit, this is really cool.
Yeah.
You know? So I am not a medieval historian. You know?
All right.
I'm not going to take you through the nitty gritty details of these women's lives and give you the fleshed out picture of medieval Europe, but I'm going to do my best.
It smelled like shit.
Yeah. You're going to know a lot more at the end of this episode than when we started.
All right.
So why this topic? Why did this call to me, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, throughout Western Christian history, we see this image of God as a man, as a father, and as like the archetype of male perfection. So during the Middle Ages, Christians strove to achieve this godlike masculine perfection.
Yeah.
Because in order to be a holy person, it's mostly cordoned off for men.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But even women wanted to achieve that godlike perfection.
Sure.
And it was a weird time to be a woman, Middle Ages.
Sure.
You know, society expected women to follow the rules of their fathers, their husbands, their kings, and above all, the word of God.
I mean, how alienating must that be? Honestly, guys, something I've never really thought of before because I don't take Christianity that seriously.
Right.
But like for a woman to just constantly hear the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Right. Like, what's your place?
It's a pretty serious imbalance of
your place is the baby maker.
Your place is whatever the fuck we say it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like you're carrying the burden of balancing the demands of God, and also you possess this feeling that you're inherently sinful because of all the shit that they say about Eve and of women, and blah, blah, blah. So I just thought it's cool that I found these two women who were able to transcend their assigned roles.
Hell yeah.
And they saw some cool visions and did some cool shit.
Hell yeah. And like, for as much shit as I have and will continue to talk about Christianity.
Yep.
And that's just me being honest. I will. The Christian mystics are some of the coolest motherfuckers out there.
Yeah.
Like, Christian mysticism is really, really cool and psychedelic, and like, it's rad. Yeah. Right.
And it's like, I feel if you weren't a Christian, you're just going to be like cast out of everything.
Yeah. If you're in shitty old Europe there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Tarot pull time.
Let's do it.
10 of coins.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
Okay. 10 of discs. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the story yet, but yeah. All right. Let's do this.
Let's get into it. All right.
O virga actia demma purpurea regis, quaes in clausura tua sicut lorica, o flos tu non germinasti, derore nec te gutis pluvie, nec de super te volavit, sed divina claritas in nobilissima virga te produxit. Unde, o salvatrix, quem novum lumen humano generi protulisti,
It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
So that's a song from a musical called In the Green, which is about the first half of Hildegard von Bingen's life.
Okay.
Which is interesting because we really don't know that much about it. So
So it's sort of like speculative?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I just think that's a cool fucking song. And that's
beautiful.
That's the opening song. So I figure how better to open our episode. But we're not talking about Hildy yet.
Okay.
We're starting off with Christina. Which is, what a enduring name.
Yeah, but like, I bet every woman was named Christina back then.
Yeah.
It's like Christ, but a lady version.
Yeah, exactly. Except she began her mystical journey as an unassuming baby named Theodora, actually.
Oh.
She was born Theodora.
Okay.
She was born in Huntingdon, England in about 1096.
Are you going to say Alabama?
Yeah, right. Oh, what do you think? What was going on in the region of Alabama in 1096?
You don't fucking know, dog.
Right?
Now you're getting into that like the red dirt people and like who the mound builders and the lost city that's Noah and shit. No, we can't go there. We can't.
That's
a lot.
Okay. So Christina, then called Theodora. She was from a wealthy Anglo-Saxon merchant family, and 30 years before Christina's birth, Anglo-Saxon and Scandinavian attempts to prevent the Norman invasion ended in defeat at the Battle of Hastings in 1066.
Yes.
Which redefined political, economic, and religious hierarchies, with William the Conqueror assuming the throne on Christmas Day, 1066.
Yeah.
Take that.
That was a big ass deal.
Yeah.
Battle of Hastings. Yeah. I first learned about it through the television program Wishbone.
Oh yeah, the little dog.
Yeah. They did Ivanhoe. It was the Normans and the Saxons. He was a brave little dog.
Mm-hmm.
Good boy.
Yeah. A good show.
It was great.
It's a very wholesome show. Yeah. So obviously the Anglo-Saxon nobility did not take kindly to the linguistic and cultural invasion, nor did they appreciate the Norman king dissolving English control over the church.
Yeah.
And as the decades of Norman rule progressed, fewer and fewer Englishmen and women held positions of authority in the church and in the monasteries. But Christina's family, although Anglo-Saxon, wanted to maintain their social status and wealth. So they were accommodating to Norman influences. In fact, her mother changed her name to Beatrix to sound more Norman.
Yeah, and they were French, right?
They were from England.
The Normans?
Oh, no. I was talking about Christina's family.
Yeah. No, the Normans, they're French, right? Francia. Oh, they're from, you know what? These assholes are from all over.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, no, the Normans were like they originated in the Duchy of Normandy, which is now in France. Mm-hmm. You might remember it from World War II, the only piece of world history we ever got taught as kids, the storming of Normandy.
Yeah.
You know, but they're from that part, but a lot of them just started sailing around and conquering other places, like way the fuck out, like Sicily and the Scandinavia,
the Iberian Peninsula.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they just started just North taking Africa, shit. Yeah.
Like, hey, we're here. We got a boat. We can go wherever we want. We just got our first car.
Yeah, they didn't speak French.
Yeah,
old Norman.
Right. So Christina's family, they're bowing down to the Normans. So mother's name Beatrix. Her father doesn't have a Norman name. He's Auty.
Okay.
And he's a highly respected man in the community, man of the church, whatever. And Beatrix once said that she knew her daughter would be holy because a dove flew up her sleeve and lived there for 7 days while she was pregnant with Christina.
Yeah, change your fucking clothes, girl.
Yeah, you wore the same dress for 7 days with a bird inside of it.
Like, I get it. You're Middle Ages. You don't got a lot of clothes.
Full of bird shit. Yeah. Which is appropriate because Beatrix is a piece of shit. Like, she's a terrible woman.
All right.
We don't like her.
Okay,
I don't like her.
All right.
Yeah. Fucking walking around with birds in her clothing. Like, what? It's weird.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. So as a child, Christina thought that, you know, since her prayers are between her and Christ, that when she says them out loud, since it's between her and Christ, that means that nobody should hear them. Right?
Especially not that fucking bird.
Yeah. So she's just walking around like, dear Jesus, my mom is really stinky. She's covered in bird shit. I can't wait to be your bride and just get away from this terrible life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her mom heard it, didn't?
Yeah. Everybody could hear her. And everybody thought that she was very weird. Yeah. As a teenager, her family went to visit this place, St. Albans Abbey in Hertfordshire. And whatever went down there, whatever she saw, it instilled in her a deep faith to never fuck. And she took a vow of chastity right then and there. And I don't blame her.
That continent smelled like shit for a long time.
Yeah. Like, there's sanitation, hygiene. They don't, you know.
Yeah, people walking around with birds in their sleeves for a week.
You enter a marriage. That means that you're going to have a baby, and childbirth often means death or whatever, you know, a painful death. So it's like, Christina's thinking, I want to enter the monastery.
I mean, call me a snob, call me a prude, but if you're walking around with a bird in your sleeve for a week, I'm not fucking you.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
Yeah. So, of course, Christina is now daydreaming about her life entering a monastic society, but that means going against, you know, both the political and monetary well-being of her family, because they're hoping they're going to marry her off to someone like, you know, within their circle, someone of influence.
Yeah.
And they can protect their wealth because they have a lot of it, you know, that they had accumulated before the invasion. They want to hold on to it. So how's she going to do this? You know, this is a big challenge for her. How is she going to transcend her prescribed social role and assume a masculine persona? Because that's what she needs to do in order to get where she wants. She needs to basically become a man.
Stick a bird down your pants.
Yeah, right. And like, this is interesting. When you read about her, she's described as both a man and a woman. And you're thinking, like, what does that mean? Like, is she a hermaphrodite? No. Sure. No, that's not what that means. It means that she was so accepted by the other powerful religious men that they accepted her as one of their own. Very interesting, right?
Yeah.
In fact, at one point, she lived, worked, prayed within an all-male community. Like, she was a leader within an all-male community. So it's very interesting.
I mean, you know, you go back through history and like all over the place, you'll see examples like this where, you know, for lack of a better term in this regard, like trans people just happen.
Yeah.
Like they're still there.
Right.
They're just doing shit. And you know, I don't know.
I feel like it's almost like it's a spiritual designation more than a gender identity thing, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because it's such a low-key, high-key patriarchal society, like, she cannot even be seen as having that position of power without giving up her womanhood.
Right. They have to, like, it's like a technicality.
Right. Like, she has to not be a woman anymore in order for her to be an equal.
It just shows they don't give a shit about the actual... Did they just care about the legalese?
Yeah, it's a loophole. Like, really, who cares? Come on, she's with you. She's hanging out.
What is this?
You know? All right. So,
well, if we call her, man, that'll be fine.
Yeah. It's very confusing to read about, quite honestly. So, Christina has this aunt. Get ready for the name.
Yeah.
Elfgefu. Were you prepared?
Is that Welsh? Are you fucking up that pronunciation?
Elfgefu. Yeah. And her aunt had been the mistress to this dude, and get ready for the name, Ranulph Flambard.
That's solid.
Ranulph and Elfgefu.
I feel like Elfgefu is like a Welsh name that's probably like Elwyn or something.
Yeah.
Like something like really simple, but it's just spelled with way too many F's and W's and D's.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to imagine I'm not saying it the way that it was said.
How it's fucking spelled, though.
Yeah. So, Aunt Elfgefu.
Yeah.
It's fucking Ranulph. And Ranulph, why are we talking about him?
Why are we talking about him?
He is the rich, powerful, leading bishop who had at one point been chief financial and legal agent as well as personal chaplain to English King William II. Oh. So this guy, Ranulph, he's a big deal. But he's also a skeezy pervert. And he has multiple concubines.
Doesn't surprise me that
yes.
those go hand in hand. Yes.
Multiple baby mamas.
Yeah.
And, as we know from the documents, Aunt Elfgefu is one of them.
Mm.
And if Ranulph was to get his way, Christina would soon be one of them too.
Mm.
Like, bro, what are you doing? You're a bishop. You're a man of God. How dare you?
He's not a man of the cloth. He's a man of the sack.
And he was, too. Like, his seed spread far and wide. So one night at Ranulph's home, the whole family is there. Christina, her parents, the aunt, you know, whatever. Because Ranulph is a guy of connections.
Yeah.
So his family's gonna be on his team.
He's people what knows people.
Yeah. And this shameless bishop, he brought the unsuspecting girl, the darling Christina, to his chamber, grabbed her by the sleeve of her tunic, and with the same mouth that he used to consecrate the Holy Sacrament, he begged Christina to commit wicked deeds.
Yeah, but she's a man.
Not at this point.
Oh, shit.
Not yet.
You couldn't have gotten him on a technicality.
Right? At this point, she's still just, you know, the chaste young Theodora.
Yeah.
You know, who just wants to be the bride of Christ and take her vow of chastity and be at the monastery. But now she's in this fucking gross bishop's bedroom and she's thinking, well, I can't fight back because he's so much bigger and stronger than me. But you know what I have? I have wit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's in Ranulph's clutches. God. And she glances at the door and she notices, okay, it's shut, but it's not bolted shut. You know?
Yeah.
So she's like, allow me to fasten the bolt, for even if we do not fear God, at least we ought to fear men, lest they catch us in this act. So Ranulph is like, oh yeah, you should lock the door. So she gets up and she just fucking runs out of the room and there's a bolt on the other side of the door.
Hell yeah.
She bolts him inside.
Fuck.
And then she runs home.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So she escaped something that could have been horrific for her.
Clever girl.
Yes.
I forgot that dude just gets fucking murked right after he says that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Jurassic Park?
Yes.
Okay. Thank God.
Yes.
clever girl.
She is. She is. So after this happens, instead of, walking away like a dog with his tail between his legs like he should be.
Right.
Ranulph is like, do you want any jewelry or dresses? I could buy you nice things. And she's like, no. What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he doesn't respond to rejection well because, of course he doesn't.
Yeah, he's a big, important man.
And he decides that he's going to respond to this rejection by seeking revenge.
Okay.
And he's going to do that by urging Christina's parents to seek a marriage between her and this young nobleman who Ranulph is buddies with.
Right.
Named Berchard.
Oh, no. Berchard?
Berchard. Yeah. And of course, Christina, being the bride of Christ, refuses. She said, I don't want to marry this fucking man.
Yeah.
And her parents, they're making her promises. They're getting her presents. They're begging her and still no. And then they start threatening her. And still no. And this is really quite a bad romance.
Oh, God damn it. Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I want thy love and all thy lovers' revenge. Thee and me could write a bad romance. I want thy love and all thy lovers' revenge. Thee and me could write a bad romance.
All right, so after that delightful musical break by Hildegard von Bingen on YouTube, just amazing, amazing. Okay, where we last left off 40 seconds ago. Her parents are pressuring her into marrying Berchard.
Yeah.
Yeah, she don't want to.
Don't want to.
One day, basically everyone at church just accosts her.
God.
And fucking physically force her into marrying him.
Wait.
So, yeah, so she does get married to him. Womp womp.
Damn, you can't do that.
Yeah, I guess you can. So even though she...
What, they take their hands and shape her mouth into the words I do while someone punched her in the fucking stomach?
Probably.
Jesus
I wouldn't put it
Christ.
past them. So even though she consented to marriage...
Sure.
She was still not consenting to having sex and consummating the marriage.
Call that a Norman consent.
Yeah. And in fact, she publicly expressed her refusal to, quote, to be defiled by submitting herself to the carnal embraces of a man.
Put your bird away, buddy.
Yeah, she's not going to be defiled. So her parents diligently set out on their quest to get their daughter laid. Which included isolating her from any of her religious peers and surrounding her instead with, quote, people given to jesting, boasting, and world amusements. They basically forced her to go to parties and drink. Yeah. They're like, you're going to get drunk and you're going to fuck, bitch.
Oh my God.
It's going to be the last thing you... Yeah. They even... One time they dressed her up in like a slutty little outfit and made her go serve wine at this merchant festival. I'm not even kidding.
Jesus Christ.
Like, okay. So in the text, it says, Beatrix swore she would not care who deflowered her daughter, provided that some way of deflowering could be found.
What?
She was like, anybody. Just you, right there. Fuck my daughter. And she wasted...
What the fuck?
Beatrix wasted a bunch of money on like hiring old crones to try out like love potions and charms to drive impure desires out of Christina's mind.
Wait, her impure desires... That's what a decade from now you're going to be calling that the pure desires.
Yeah.
Fuck is this?
They want to drive, they want her to be horny. Like, imagine your mom hiring like witches to cast spells on you to make you horny. It's ridiculous.
Sure.
It's absolutely
fucking
ridiculous.
A. All right.
Yeah. So, in the text,
all right,
it says that at one point, a Jewess was hired who wanted to harm Christina with tricks that were more powerful than any of the witches that came before.
I mean, a Jew magic.
Yeah. So the Jewess enters and says to Beatrix, don't bother. I'm seeing that there's 2 phantoms, 2 people dressed in white, and they are around your daughter at all times, protecting her from assault. So I don't know what to tell you. I can't do anything for you. But that...
Slapping every dick that comes near her.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Right? That wasn't good enough, though.
All right.
Beatrix doesn't listen to the Jewess. She doesn't listen to the old crones. She doesn't listen to her daughter. Yeah, that's what it says.
How would you... Can I call you a Jewess?
Yeah,
No?
please do.
Okay, sure.
I like that descriptor.
All right.
You know? It's kind of cool. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there's an incident where Beatrix and Christina and the whole family, they're at a banquet together. And Beatrix just decides, you know what? Come here, you little shit. And she grabs Christina by the hair, pulls her out of the banquet, and just like beats the shit out of her. She's left with scars, both emotionally and physically.
Okay, wow.
And then Beatrix takes her back into the banquet and like shows her scars to people. Like, look what I did.
Now fuck her.
Yeah, right?
What the hell?
So that night, this is when Christina gets like one of her first visions.
Okay. Yeah.
And
makes sense.
It's a vision of basically the mother that she wishes that she had.
Ooh.
So Christina dreams that she's in this church and there's a priest who gives her this beautiful branch that's covered in flowers. And there's also a lady there who's like an empress. And she's not far from the altar, so like a very kind presence in the church. And this lady offers Christina comfort, is very nice to her. And then as Christina's walking through the church, Burchard is there. And he's on the floor, and he's smashing his head against the ground. And he's like reaching for her, but can't touch her as she just like walks past him while he's just banging his head on the ground and pathetically reaching for her. And she walks up these stairs to this upper chamber where there's this beautiful queen, right? And this queen approaches Christina and puts her head in Christina's lap. Almost like, you know, a sign of submission from this divine being. But when she places her head in Christina's lap, it's with her face away from her. And Christina is disturbed by this and is like, why won't you look at me?
It's a dog in a queen suit.
Yeah, no, the queen turns to look at her, the empress, queen, whatever you want to call her, and says, when you and Judith come back to my chamber, you can have your fill of looking at my face. Judith from the Bible.
Okay.
Who is another, like, oh yeah, okay. The book, she gets her whole own book in the Bible.
Right.
The Book of Judith. I think, like, Judith fucking beheads someone, I'm pretty sure. So basically, she's just this cool woman who makes friends with the enemies, you know, gets them drunk, gets into their tent one night, and then just fucking decapitates their general. It's like, you know what? There you go. No more leader.
Hell yeah.
She just used her feminine wiles to
save the Israelites from the Assyrians. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, right. So, yeah. Christina and Judith.
She's subconsciously at least feeling the bloodlust right now. Which is understandable.
It is.
Isn't it?
Like, after this fucking banquet event, I'd be fucking out for blood.
She's been through quite a lot at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's going to take a lot of courage to just run away, because it's like, where are you going to go?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, so that's her first, like, major vision, and she gets it at night. It's kind of like a dream, but you know what? A dream counts as a vision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She wakes up and her pillow is wet with tears, and that's kind of the moment that changes her life forever. From then on, she's like fully committed to serving the church and to living this life. And there's also something that's really sad about that vision, is because it's like the mother that she wishes that she had.
Yeah.
Is this comforting maternal force.
Yeah.
That will, you know.
Yeah, she had a shit mother.
Right. Yeah. So, at their wits' end, because Christina, she's going to the party, she's serving the wine, she's wearing the slutty little outfits. It's not working. So her parents decide, we're just going to let Bert into her bedroom and hope that he finds her sleeping and gets the job done. Yeah. So late one night, just open the door. Instead of finding her sleeping, he finds her wide awake, and she engages him in a long talk about chastity.
Okay.
And she comes up with a deal. Listen, Bert, I know your friends are making fun of you because your wife won't fuck you and wants nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
I'll live with you to spare you the embarrassment and give us the impression of being a married couple. But you're not laying a finger on my butterfinger. We're going to be just like Saint Cecilia and her husband Valerian. And if you don't know, Cecilia was a Christian in 3rd century Rome.
Okay.
Against her will, she was married to a man.
Mm-hmm.
And on her wedding night, she said to him, if you touch me, there's an angel protecting me that'll fucking kill you.
Hell yeah.
And so Valerian's like, well, I can't see the angel. And she's like, that's because you're not a holy man.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you don't have the sight. You're too impure. So Valerian's like, well, I want to see the angel. She's like, well, then you have to know the true God. I don't want to deny you. You got to be cleansed of the impurity of unbelief. You don't believe me? You got to...
First, put your dick away.
Yeah. So Valerian gets baptized, and then he can see the angel. And then they are celibate forever.
I'm sad for both of them.
Yeah. So Christina is trying to convince Bert to, be like them and just, whatever. So he fails. He gets it caught up in this talk all night, doesn't fulfill his task.
Yeah.
So Christina's family and Bert's friends basically go on to make fun of him more.
Because they were watching through the window.
Yeah, literally, though.
Oh, really?
They're like, you're spineless and useless. And they goad him into giving it a second shot.
No.
And this time you better not fuck it up. And if you...
Fuck, dude.
If you can't do it, we're going to be standing by to help. So they all gather outside of the door.
I'm upset.
Yeah. It's like a whole group is in on this, trying to get this poor fucking young girl raped, basically. Jesus Christ. Not basically, it is.
Yeah, it is that.
Yeah. So Bert busts through the door, but Christina's nowhere to be found.
Oh, shit.
Because she overheard what was going on. And there's this...
Clever girl.
Clever girl. Behind a curtain on the wall, like this tapestry curtain thing that's hanging.
Yeah.
There's this big nail that's protruding from the wall. And she gets the idea that she's going to hang by the nail, grab onto it so that her feet can't be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So she's hanging by the nail, basically by her fingernails, just holding on,
Yeah.
Well, the group piles into the room to search for her. In fact, there's even one moment where someone grabs the curtain by accident and takes a hold of her foot, but then lets it go.
Wow.
Yeah.
No shit.
So they can't find her. Everybody's disappointed. The next day, there's this dramatic chase scene where Bert sees Christina and literally starts running after her, and she's running away, and she has to get over this tall spiked fence that's taller than her.
Yeah.
But she finds it within herself to scurry up it and escape him. And she says that when she turned around to look at him on the other side of the fence, he had transformed into a devil with blackened teeth and a morphed face.
That's just Middle Ages Europe.
Yeah, his teeth are fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah, if he even has any.
Yeah.
So word gets around town about Christina's dilemma. Because surely somebody in the village has got to think this is weird, huh?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? What is going on?
Just the blacksmith and his wife going, mm-mm.
Yeah, this whole family just so committed to going against the wishes of this young woman. So it's arranged for this hermit, and God, the hermits really come through in this story.
They always do.
Yeah. Named Eadwine. Or
That's
Eadwine?
Yeah. It's definitely Awen or something.
Eadwine.
It's definitely Awen.
Yeah.
It's just some Welsh bullshit. So say whatever you want.
Yeah. Eadwine.
Yeah. Or whatever. How's it spelled?
E-A-D wine.
Try fucking Ewan, for all I know. Aedwin. Let's go Aedwin.
Aedwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this hermit named Aedwin hears about Christina's dilemma and is like, hey, girl, I'll help you. We're going to dress you up like a dude. You're going to hop on a horse. And you're going to ride out of there. You're just going to ride until you don't look back.
And put this bird down your pants.
Yeah. And I love this line. Christina writes that once she leaves, it's going to be forever because, and I quote, "It is better for me never to leave than to return like a dog to its vomit." Like, fucking get him.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Get him.
Hell yeah.
Like, just a fucking pile of vomit to me. That's all you are. Yeah.
That's sick.
Embarrassing to go back to you. So, Aedwin takes Christina, helps her out on her journey to get on the horse. And it's interesting. Christina also writes how, like, when she gets on the horse and dresses up like a guy, there's a moment of hesitation where she's like, it feels weird to have the masculine countenance, Yeah. But then she brushes it off because she's like, you know what? I gotta live my fucking life.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, bye. So Aedwin takes her to stay with a woman named Alfwin. And Alfwin is an anchoress at Flamstead.
None of this shit's real.
Yeah. So
an anchoress.
Yeah, let's talk about what an anchoress is. When you look up a picture, there's a really funny painting of like just a nun inside of this it's like a little doghouse, and she's just poking her head out of the window. And that's basically what it is. So
wait. What do you mean that's basically what it is?
Basically what it is. You're like in this little stone tiny building with like 2 windows in it. You're bricked in some cases.
Wait, what?
You get bricked in. You're also given your last rites before you enter this little tiny doghouse thing. An anchorite's life was hard. It's a tiny building, tiny stone enclosure that's usually attached to a church or right adjacent to a church.
Why?
So that you can be basically like a channel between God and earth.
It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah. So when you go into your anchorite cell, you're given your last rites. Because basically, like, you're dying there.
Yeah.
Like, you are choosing to give up life in order to be the anchoress. You are an anchor.
I thought she made anchors.
No. Yeah. It's similar to a funeral. Like, you're dead to the world. You belong to the church. You are the anchoress. So you're sealed in this little tiny room, this cell attached to the church, and you stay there. You're supposed to stay there until you die. And the cells have 2 windows. One is known as the hagioscope, or the squint, which opens up to the inside of the church. So you're outside, but you have this little window where you can like pop it open and look inside the church and see what they're doing in there.
Can they see you?
Yeah. Just a little eyes like poking out of the cell. Yeah. So that you can hear mass and receive Holy Communion. But then you have this other window that opens to the outside world.
Okay.
So you can like receive food and pass your waste through it, get other essential items. You could also, sometimes you get visitors.
My God.
There's this great text that's recommendations, or it's like a guidebook of advice for anchoresses from former anchoresses. Like, here's what to do. And it's like, if you get bored, you could start digging your own grave with your fingers, which I love.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wait, there's former anchoresses? They left?
They died and left behind writings.
Oh.
Yeah.
God damn it, man. I'm fucking finna about to reject tradition and embrace modernity.
Right.
Fuck that. That's ridiculous.
So Christina's going to stay with an anchoress at Flamstead in her little cell. Not a glamorous life, but it's better. To be an anchoress is actually to have a highly esteemed position within the church.
Who gives a shit?
It's an important role.
Fuck that.
Yeah. To hang out in your little room, do whatever you want all day.
I'd rather be a ditch digger.
Yeah. You can with your fingers. You're digging your own little ditch.
You dig my way right out of there.
Right.
That's absurd. I didn't
It is
know about.
fucking
That's
absurd.
so dumb.
Yeah.
Fuck Christ.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah. That was a thing that people really did.
Who the hell is wrong with you?
So next, after, she Alfwin's had her fill of Christina. It's like, all right, my cell's only big enough for one. You got to.
Yeah.
So Christina finds shelter with another hermit, Roger. Roger is a subdeacon of St. Albans Abbey, where Christina first had her, little awakening where she was like, I want to be celibate.
Okay.
That place. Yeah. And, Roger is a man. Mm-hmm. Roger is a monk.
Yes.
He can't live with a woman.
No.
You can't have a woman in your dwelling.
No.
So you want to take care of this person, but if it's found out that you're protecting them, you could be killed. Something really bad could happen to you. So he has this little tiny opening in his wall that is about the size of a locker, except shorter. And there's a plank of wood that can be propped up in front of it. And Christina spends her time in this little tiny, it's like maybe about 15 inches wide. So she's squished in there. She can't stand up or lay down, but she spends all of her time in this little passage.
Go to the forest.
Yeah.
Play with the animals.
She'll get caught.
Fight a bear. She'll get killed, but it'll be better.
Yeah.
Than living in a goddamn wall closet.
It's fucking awful.
What is this?
It's awful.
Fuck this.
Yeah.
I hate this.
So she can only pretty much go out at night when she's not gonna get caught.
Yeah.
Also, she's like really super serious about, depriving herself to serve the Lord. So she describes how like her bowels dry up because, she's sitting in there so long without like food or water.
She's an idiot too.
Yeah.
What is this?
She's a godly woman.
I hate it.
This is how you enter a trance and see cool visions.
That's true, but like.
Yeah.
Go eat some fucking mushrooms.
Right? Maybe she was. Maybe they were. We don't know.
Damn it. They wouldn't be doing any anchoress bullshit if they were eating mushrooms.
Somehow, she was also doing needlework to support herself at this time because Roger's like, well, you can't just stay in the crack in my wall without a little something
Fuck
for
you.
Roger. Yeah. She was very skilled at needlework, though.
None of this is real. This is a fucking psyop. This is bullshit. This can't be true.
It is true.
Okay.
So, vision time.
All right.
On the day of the Annunciation of the Virgin Mary, it's like March 25th. If you don't know what that is,
Sure.
I didn't either. I looked it up. That's when the angel Gabriel came to Mary and was like, you got a baby in you. You got a magic baby in you. So on the day of the Annunciation, Christina's in her little tiny closet, right? Mm-hmm. And she has this vision that the fairest of the children of men came to her through the locked door and bearing in his right hand a cross of gold. And this angel basically tells her, like, hold this cross, hold it upright, and don't let it like shift in any direction other than upright. Just hold it straight up. Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
I remember Lemuria. Shaver's story. When homeboy, whatever the fuck his name was, Mutan Mion, goes back to Earth at Mu or whatever the fuck, and he gets told by the giantess that, like, all right, in this box there's a little thing you got to put it under your hat. Mm-hmm. Don't let it fall off. Yeah. It's that type of bullshit. Yeah.
So Jesus, this is Jesus talking.
Oh, okay.
He's like, Christina, I know shit's hard for you. I'm here to make you feel better. Take this cross, hold it upright, and I'm going to come back to take the cross back, okay? I will. But just hold out hope. So Christina tells Roger about this experience, and he starts weeping. And he's like, rejoice with me, my Sunday daughter. This means that your suffering will soon end. You know, like this vision is a sign.
You mean you're going to let me out of your wall, sir?
Yeah. Right. And I guess this vision, when the angel Gabriel came to Mary to announce her pregnancy, he also entered like through a locked door. Like he didn't enter through an open passageway. He like came through the wall.
Yeah.
So it's like that. It's like the Annunciation. And also when Christ enters hell to release its inhabitants, he holds a golden cross in his hand. like how he was holding it. So it's almost like a vision of release, but also annunciation, like I don't know, Christ coming inside of her.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't fucking know. Yeah. Well, what do you know? 2 days later, Easter Sunday, March 27th, the day of the resurrection, who shows up to Roger's cell but Bertrand?
No, shit.
Yeah. And 2 of his brothers. And Bertrand is like, you know what? I done fucked up. I want to release this woman from the marriage. He found another woman and wanted to marry her.
Yeah, so fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bertrand doesn't know that she's in Roger's cell. So this is, this is kind of crazy. Christina's like watching through the little hole in the wall, like, whoa. Okay. So Bertrand releases her from the marriage.
Yeah.
And Roger is just overjoyed about this because he no longer has to worry about Christina leaving and being murdered or hunted down by her vicious ex-husband or the archbishop or whatever. He feels like things are plodding along in a good way. And the vision has kind of, come to fruition, I guess you could say. So, she's been unofficially released from her marriage contract. It's still not totally
it's a step in the right direction.
Officially annulled, but Bertrand is backing off. It only took you fucking 7 years, but whatever.
7 years?
Yeah.
What? This is over 7 years?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How long is she in each cubby?
I think she was in Roger's cubby for 4 years.
What in the fuck?
It's between 2 to 4 years. Yeah, she was there a long time.
I was going to say weeks.
Yeah, no.
Holy shit.
Oh, this is intense.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Christian values.
Seriously. Okay. So, enter another archbishop.
Get him out of here.
Archbishop Thurston of York.
Thurston, yes.
Play the. When I heard that name, I just thought of this fucking cat from YouTube.
Thurston! Bad boy. No.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah. Fucking Archbishop Thurston of York. He's friends with Ranulph. The fucking rapey Ranulph.
Yeah.
And yet, he agrees to help Christina. And he annuls her marriage for her.
Okay.
And confirms her vow of virginity and permits her husband to marry another woman.
Okay.
So fucking thanks, Thurston.
Yeah.
Thanks. Then Thurston does something a little silly. He arranges for Christina to stay with a friend of his, this cleric. But, the cleric and Christina living together is a little iffy because this cleric keeps getting so horny, he takes all of his clothes off and stands in front of Christina and begs her to do something with him. And then
Jesus Christ.
And then in turn, Christina just insults him.
Sick.
Yeah. But internally, she's struggling with desires of the flesh too.
With this guy?
Yeah.
Is he hot? What the fuck is this?
No.
Okay.
So she's a human woman,
being. Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
But because this guy's his self-abasement and begging is so pathetic that she's able to keep her desires in check.
Okay. Yeah.
And then finally one night, this cleric who keeps exposing himself to Christina has a dream about Mary Magdalene scolding him. She's like, bad. Stop that. And then he stopped doing it after that. Yeah. Oh, also, by the way, Roger at St. Albans Abbey is like, you know what, Christina? You've been through a lot. When I die, you want to take control of the Abbey?
There we go.
That's only fair.
Here we go.
That's only fair at this point, It's like, Roger, if you didn't, you're dickhole.
Kind of a dick, yeah.
Yeah. So Roger passes away. She takes control of this all-male abbey.
Still sleeps in the wall.
Yeah. And slowly, a community of virgins joins her, There's more nuns and whatever coming.
We don't want to fuck these gross Europeans either.
Yeah. I really don't blame them.
No, me either.
And, Christina's a good household manager. She's good at what she does. And she attracts patronage from all across the country, and her community, it grows.
This ends as a UFO cult, right?
Yeah. Be crazy.
Yeah.
No. So Christina, she's getting older. And this time in her life, around like 1130, she meets this guy, Abbot Geoffrey, and they become really close.
Okay.
Their friendship is very intense. Geoffrey is so inspired by Christina's visionary spirituality that he has this psalter, like totally redirected for, that's a songbook.
Sure.
Like a religious songbook, redirected for Christina to use, which is a big deal. And their friendship is also unique because usually you see someone like, it's interesting because the male cleric is usually the one providing the spiritual advice to the anchoress.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a case where Christina is in more of a leadership role and is providing advice to Abbot Geoffrey. The abbot is seeking guidance from the anchoress. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So this is also pretty cool. And over the next 2 decades, Christina's spiritual abilities, it's mostly Abbot Geoffrey shit is all it is. And also meddling in the high politics of England.
Oh.
Like, Abbot Geoffrey was supposed to travel on church business, but it was during a civil war. So Christina, she had a little vision and was like, oh, he can't go. Not right now. God permits it. Or God
prohibits
it.
Yeah,
God prohibits it. By the way, there was a civil war for 19 years known as the Anarchy.
Yeah.
Between King Stephen and Queen Matilda. They're like cousins.
Yeah, dude, that shit happened all the time.
Yeah.
Wars of succession.
They fought for 19 years. Stephen won, and then a year later he died anyway.
That's usually how it goes.
Yep. So
these people are all fucking stupid. This is insane.
Yeah. So Abbot Geoffrey, he founds his own priory at Markyate, and that's how Christina gets her namesake.
Christina of Markyate.
Of Markyate.
Yes.
And, her sister, Margaret, eventually breaks away from the family and joins Christina there.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, fuck mom. So Christina's community at Markyate, it manages to survive until the 16th century.
Yeah.
So we're just a long time.
Yeah.
It's 4 centuries.
1166 was the last date that you said? Or 1130?
Yeah.
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 Holy
and
shit.
she died in 1155.
Damn.
So just a long-lasting impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You said it was dissolved by Henry VIII?
Yes. The dissolution of the monasteries by... Yes. Yes. So our second lady of the hour, Miss Hildegard von Bingen, also known as Sibyl of the Rhine.
Why?
Because she was on the Rhine River, and
So that part makes sense.
Is there a biblical figure named Sibyl?
Sure.
Might be after that.
Yeah, there's probably a biblical figure named Ranulph, because that's the only book they had.
Right. So Hildegard is known for, one of the things that she's known for, because she's known for a shitload of things, is music.
Okay.
So I'm going to be punctuating her section. First, we're going to listen to a remix of one of her songs.
Sure.
There's also David Lynch produced an album of her music. And of course, her music is like, you can't listen to a 1,000-year-old recording, but you can listen to people,
right,
doing the thing.
Right.
And it is enchanting and angelic.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So let's start off with...
Lynch loves that shit,
Yeah. It makes absolute sense that he would be into Hildegard.
Yeah.
Do you want to look up one of her non-remixed songs, too? Just to hear it. Like, imagine you're just sitting in an anchoress cell all day. What are you doing in there?
Wait, was she an anchoress? Oh, shit.
She was sent to an anchoress cell when she was 8.
What the fuck?
So it's like listening to Gregorian chants except with women. Basically.
And like, just like complicated and like soulful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so much soul in there.
Yeah.
Passion and power and fucking...
And you can only imagine how it feels to be one of those voices surrounded by, and you're just harmonizing with everyone. You would feel like her stance on music is incredible.
Yeah.
So Hildegard. We don't know Hildegard's birthday.
Okay.
So I invite you all to do what I did and just imagine that she has the same birthday as you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. She was born in 1098. So just a couple years after Christina.
Yeah.
When Christina was 1096.
So there's the same period of
yes.
fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except Hildy's in Germany.
Mm.
She's born to a German family. They're middle-ranking landowners. They live in the wine-growing region of Rhine, Hessen. And
Sick.
Her family took tithing very seriously. So you know how you're supposed to tithe like 10% to the church?
It's a fucking racket.
Well, once her family figured out how weird and sickly their 10th child, Hildegard, was, they decided it would be best, dedicate her to the church.
Gotta find a loophole.
Just take her. Yeah, 10%. It's 10% of our children. Here you go.
Fucking brilliant.
Here you go. Here's Hildy.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And it seems like from those other assholes, they'd be like, well, you found the loophole.
Right. And they were right, though. She was a veritable weirdo.
Okay.
She was having strange visions of luminous light from as young of an age as 3, but she didn't have the words to express it then. So her family put up with her religious antics for 5 more years, and then when she turned 8, Hildy was sent to live with Countess Jutta von Sponheim.
Okay, look, I can imagine a situation in which going to live with Countess, what was her name?
Jutta von Sponheim.
I can get down with that.
Yeah.
I can also imagine a situation where that's not fun. You know, I imagine for an 8-year-old girl.
Right.
It's not the situation I was first thinking of.
Yeah. So, Jutta von Sponheim, she is an anchoress.
Oh, fuck, never mind.
Yes, at a Benedictine monastery.
Jesus Christ.
In Debauchery.
I can't believe that there was more than one.
There was about, around this time, 200 anchoresses across Europe, I believe. It's a fairly popular...
came up with this?
And there was also anchorites. There was men that also did this.
Boys!
But it was more popular with women. It's a way to get away from your fucking family.
I mean, we heard about bird's
you don't
teeth.
Get
I
married.
heard about bird's teeth. Everyone's got birds in their pants.
Yeah.
It's all fucked up.
Yeah.
I'd consider it.
You know? Fucking trip out on God all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay. So Hildy's sent to this cell with Jutta von Sponheim.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, I think, 3 other female students. And I say I think because it's hard to know. You look at differing accounts and they say different shit.
Yeah. That'll happen.
Right. So it's Hildy, 3 other students, and Jutta in their grody little cell. They're all just like digging holes. And
Morning, class. Now let's keep working on digging our own graves.
Right.
Honestly, go fight a bear.
Yeah. So by the time Hildegard is 15, that's when it's time to take your vows as a nun. And Jutta's community had actually grown to a small convent under the supervision of the Debauchery monasteries. And but it's crowded. You know, there's not enough space for all these people. And also, Jutta's like an okay teacher. Like, her grammar's not great. She'll, like, show you how to read the Latin books, but...
Yeah.
Hildegard felt insecure about her education.
Okay.
Yeah, she felt like she wasn't confident in her writing ability.
The fuck? This is 1100.
Yeah, right.
You're all stupid. Fine.
So Yada, she's an oddball. She's very fond of self-flagellation.
You don't say.
Yeah. She likes to smack herself and whip herself and starve herself and
never would have suspected
all
that
those fun things. Yeah.
From a lady who decided she wanted to live in a concrete dollhouse.
Yeah. She taught the girls 7 virtues, but my favorite is contempt for the world.
All right, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm down with it.
She did stuff like wearing chains underneath her clothing.
I knew she was fucking kinky as shit. That's yeah, dude.
And she would pray barefoot in the winter, like outside, and it's fucking cold out.
She left?
Like I believe you can go outside of your cell.
Oh.
I think.
Wait, so you just have a house? That no one else is allowed to come in?
No, it's like a shack.
It's a small house that no one else can come in. Yeah, hell yeah.
It's a stone enclosure.
But you can leave. And no one else can come in?
From what I read, some of it sensationalized it to make it sound like you're locked in there and that's your like where you die.
Maybe you just like can't go out to the shops.
You can't like leave the monastery, but you can,
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, sign me up.
Like you can go play music and like go look at flowers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Cause
in fact, if I got sent back in a time machine and I had no way of getting back home, slap me on an anchor. Let's do this.
It must get cold in there, though.
Yeah, but the rest of them have the goddamn Black Plague.
Yeah. Yeah, in some cases, they could leave to travel.
They can travel.
Yeah.
So they're doing great.
Oh, okay. Anchorites could.
But not the anchoresses.
Let me see. A lot of them, they could have little gardens within their cells. That's cute.
I got a bunch of houseplants.
Yeah. I mean, we're basically living in it's not attached to a church, but it's just a tiny house. It's just a tiny
Your house is huge compared to the house I grew up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have a patron that could supply all of their needs, both physical and spiritual. Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
Like, just someone to come and, like... No, you weren't supposed to get too many visitors in your anchoress cell, but, like...
Quality over quantity.
It's kind of cool. You're just sort of like the neighborhood wise woman. People just come to chat with you and, like,
if you
get your advice.
If you are allowed to walk out of the door, it sounds like the only job I would want. Yeah,
it sounds like pretty much the easiest life that you could have back then. Or Although you don't have to take it to the lengths that Yada did.
The first impression I had sounds like the thing the anchorites would say when people started getting like, hey, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you have it made? And I'm covered in shit with 10 birds in my pants.
They would also have hermits known as desert mothers or desert fathers that would wander into the desert or forest in order to retreat from the world. It's a popular Christian practice.
That's just people.
Yeah, like just retreating into the forest.
Like I know a few of them.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't it be fun to just be a hermit that the church just supports? Like, here's your food. We'll take care of your shit. You just stay in your little doghouse.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There was also a period of time where I know that rich people would hire garden hermits, like artists to live in their gardens. Just like sort of, here's my hermit. Okay, that's what I would want to be.
So NFTs are nothing new. We've always needed to waste our fucking money.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Hildegard's learning from Yada. Yada's a weirdo.
Yeah.
And not much is known about the rest of the years that Hildegard spent enclosed with Yada and the other girlies, but we know she was taught how to read and sing psalms and play instruments, and
sure,
we know her attachment to music. Music was very important to Hildegard. She felt like it had a powerful and even medicinal effect on people.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Yeah.
To her, music was a type of biblical meditation that could be used to restore harmony and balance with nature. She saw it as something that could heal the earth.
Yeah, it is.
If people got together and made music, we can like do great things and call upon the heavens and, You know?
I mean, it's massage therapy for the psyche.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Get out of those knots, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
And she noticed this balance with nature was being altered by humans. There's population growth going on, destructive agricultural practices making their mark upon her homeland.
It's 1100. There's like 12 of you. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right. She was a passionate environmentalist.
I don't give it. You can't be.
Yeah, right.
Shut the. There's like 12 of you compared to what we got.
Well, I guess it's probably like there's a lot going on. Like they were born when the first crusade went down, and there's just weird stuff going on.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of shit going on back then for sure.
Yeah.
But it just takes a lot longer to have happen.
Mm-hmm.
You got like 6 months before you hear the next piece of news.
In any case,
yeah,
she was attached to nature.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like in some stuff that I'm realizing that it was probably those people writing attaching their own like like concerns to her.
Yep.
And it occurs to me that's probably like she loved nature, but like she wasn't fucking concerned about like climate change. You know? Right? Yeah. So to her, music was a type of biblical meditation, and she could use it to restore harmony and balance with nature.
Yeah.
Because she loved nature.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck else do you have to do except wander around and look at stuff and ponder things and sew and sing?
Her rhythms and her melodies sounds like bird songs.
She probably listened to a lot of birds.
But it has that lilting, the trills and shit, the odd, the syncopation and the anticipation. Yeah. Wicked reminds me of bird songs. Hell yeah.
Well, she saw nature as deserving the same consideration and study as music because both of these things she felt have to do with the harmony of the universe and keeping things in harmony.
Okay, so after, like, I was regretting saying how groovy Christian mysticism was after the Christina story.
Yeah.
Now I'm not regretting it again. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So Hildegard, she sees the universe as God's body.
Yeah.
Which is a cool way to think about it.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Yeah, that's that shit.
Yeah.
That's that Christian mystic shit.
Because, a lot of other people, they're thinking of God, like, as a man.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, the whole universe is God.
Yeah.
We're living in it.
Yeah. It's Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, like, opening up his huge form, and he is the universe. And she would have loved Electric Forest.
Yes. Oh, my God. Hildegard at, like, a festival.
Yeah.
So, before we go any further, there's this... It's not a musical. So the first one that we listened to a song from In the Green, which was the musical that has been produced and on stage about her life within the cell with Yutta and everything.
Yeah.
There's this other one that is still in production and in development, but they have a concept album for it, a live concept album that is full of songs that might be in the musical if it goes through, and I hope it does because that would really be something about Hildy's life, once she gets out of the cell. So let's see. What do I have for you here? The opening song, just like it basically describes Hildegard's life up until this point in the story. And it's so funny to imagine it being performed on stage in like a super theatrical style.
Are these people going to sue us?
No, they'd love it.
Okay.
It's it was performed by the original cast of Chicago, so like they're good. They're in development. I am feeding the tulpa of Hildegard live because I want to go see it.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my. I hate it.
It's ridiculous. So Hildegard is what we call a polymath. The very definition of a Renaissance woman.
Yeah.
Except not, because
way before that.
We're in the Middle Ages, yeah.
Yeah.
But she was highly skilled in many areas.
Yeah. Polymath, of course, means you know a whole bunch about a lot of things.
About a lot of different stuff.
An expert in more than one thing.
Right. So not only did she become a kick-ass music composer.
Yep.
She also had an intimate relationship with the natural world, as I mentioned.
Hell yeah.
She spent decades researching natural science, agriculture, herbal remedies. And
this is sick.
Yeah. This was at a time when the church kind of frowned upon women who did like plant medicine and could be seen as healers, you know, because it's kind of pagan.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
like that's pre-Christian shit. We can't have you like, you know, handing out herbal remedies and stuff and doing witchy stuff.
I mean, you know, this is Christianity, which is the desert god, and like the desert god versus the forest god.
Yeah.
And like there's definitely a very clear masculinity to the desert god and a very clear femininity to the forest god.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. So church usually frowns upon this type of stuff. Yet here's Hildegard writing the first German herbal treatise, compiling catalogs on local plants, trees, birds, fish, stones. She's looking into it all. And she had this idea that of like a micro and macrocosm, and how the human body too was a reflection of the universe.
Yeah.
Like you can't separate yourself from the natural world.
Yeah.
Like you are part of it, you impact it, and it impacts you. So developing a relationship with nature, to her, she saw as a necessary step to understanding how the sacred manifests itself in our material plane.
No shit.
Right. Go into nature.
God damn it. Yeah.
You know, right? Like seek nature and you'll find peace.
Dude, that's great. I mean, that's hermetic. Like that philosophy,
it doesn't feel Christian. It doesn't feel...
It's hermetic. It's super fucking hermetic.
It doesn't feel Catholic. It doesn't feel Benedictine.
But the thing is...
Like a nun.
The hermetic text didn't get to Europe until the fucking 1500s, I believe.
Yeah.
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 God damn. Hilda, I love you.
Yeah. So I actually made one of her recipes.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's for a cookie of joy.
Too?
Yeah.
I want to marry this bitch.
She had some pretty interesting recipes.
I want to marry this nun.
Yeah. She used a lot of chestnuts in her cooking, which I've never had. Like there's one chestnut and potato soup, I think. I'm like, I'd try it. Whatever.
Try it. Yeah.
Try it. So I made the cookies of joy. I will try them. They're supposed to cure depression and an overabundance of black bile. She was into the phlegmat, like the four humors type shit.
It's an okay metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this is different than the cakes of light, right?
There's no blood or poop in these. I promise.
Come.
I can't promise that. It's a damn good cookie.
That's a really good cookie.
It's like a solid little butter cookie.
It's a butter clove cinnamon cookie.
Yeah.
Good shit.
So, it gave me some joy. She also has another suggestion for what you can do if you're depressed.
Okay.
You know, mandrakes, how their root looks like a man.
Yeah.
They look like little people.
Yeah.
Popular from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You got to pull up the root from the ground.
Okay.
Because this mandrake root, because it looks like a tiny man, the devil has more influence on it because of its human structure.
Of course.
Like a, what do you call it?
It's a little shit boy.
The little shit boy. That's not what I was thinking. That is not what I was thinking. But it is. Yeah. So, like, because it looks like us, this root it's easy for us to displace our good and bad desires onto it and to use it like as a sort of totem to displace our energy onto.
Are you going to say sex toy?
Yeah. No, that'd be difficult. So you take this mandrake root and you're going to soak it in a spring or in a fountain for 24 hours, like overnight.
Oh,
so that you can dispel any evil or contrary humors from it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then afterwards, you're going to take the little mandrake into bed with you.
Come on.
And you're going to cuddle it and warm it with your body. And you're going to recite these words.
This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
God, who madest man from the dust of the earth without grief, I now place next to me that earth which was never transgressed, in order that my clay may feel that peace, just as thou didst create it. So it's like you're taking this little man-shaped piece of the earth and caring for it and like soaking it and soaking all of the evilness out of it, and almost as if it represents you. So like you're soaking all of your, I don't know.
That's some wild ass magic.
Your depression into, you know, if you're depressed, just like take this little thing that looks like a man.
Because it's the macro microcosm shit. You are the microcosm of the earth. So this piece of the macro that's a little piece that looks like you. It's this kind of.
You can put your energy into it and then cleanse it and then love it.
Yeah, it's this funhouse mirror type.
Which is, I dig it.
It's fucking sick. Yeah,
kind of dig
really
it.
Cool magic. Hell yeah. I love it.
And of course, when I was looking up stuff about the mandrake root, like throughout history, there's like a ton of shit about it. People using it for a variety of purposes. Supposedly it has like, it can have hallucinogenic effects too when ingested. So mandrake, cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it probably hurt your liver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not good for you to eat. So, 1136. Jutta has passed away. And it's unanimously decided that Hildegard's going to take Jutta's place as the head of the small convent that's formed.
Yeah.
She's going to be Abbess Hildegard. I love that.
Yeah.
Abbess. Yeah. But first, she has to sing an obnoxious song at Jutta's funeral to really drive the point home.
Oh, good.
You're going to love it. Yeah.
She sang this, huh?
Suffer is to live a life of worth. To suffer is a spiritual rebirth.
Jutta was a dominatrix. Let's get one thing fucking clear. She
lived on air and flagellation. She's like, oh my God.
Yeah, she didn't eat. She just fucked a lot. Jesus Christ. Let's stop glorifying this degeneracy.
This woman. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ. I can't. Jutta was a weirdo. That's what she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like,
we're the same people now we were back then.
Yeah.
Some bitch locks herself up in a goddamn concrete dollhouse. Bunch of chains and spikes.
Yeah.
Other young women.
Like, this is kinky, kind of.
Yeah. I'm saying that this whole segment.
Oh, by the way, this whole time, Jutta's like the only person that knows about Hildegard's weird luminous light visions that she gets, where she'll see like a crack of light from the sky come down and like these weird things in her visual scope. And then she gets really tired and feels really shitty. And then after that, she feels really awesome and awake and feels better. Kind of like she has
epilepsy
or migraine with or both.
Yeah. Or migraines or temporal lobe epilepsy. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But the only person that really knows about this is Jutta, and Jutta happened to tell this monk at the Debauchery monastery, Volmar. So Volmar knows about it too, and Volmar is a cool guy. He's like the dude that the nuns all confess to and whatever, whatever. Volmar's nice enough.
Yes, this is actually a solid anyone in this story. So he's nice enough.
He is
in
nice
medieval
enough.
terms.
Right. So it's 1141. It's like 5 years after Jutta's passed away.
Yeah.
Hildegard is 42 years old. So like she only got to leave the anchoress position and take on the abbess role.
Yeah.
When she was like in her late 30s.
Yeah.
So she spent a lot of time in that little tiny.
Yeah, but she got to go out.
Yeah. She
got to go out.
It's true.
Everyone else's house was small too. Mm-hmm. Except the king.
Right.
He's got a lot of other stuff to worry about.
So Hildegard is 42 years old.
Yeah.
She gets a stunning vision of light coming down from the sky. I was trembling in fearful anticipation of a celestial vision, that I beheld a great brightness through which a voice from heaven addressed me. O fragile child of earth, ash of ashes, dust of dust, express and write that which thou seest and hearest. Thou art timid in speech, artless in explaining, unlearned in writing. But express and write not according to art, but according to natural ability, not under the guidance of human composition, but under the guidance of that which thou seest and hearest in God's heaven above. So basically, this voice is telling her, you gotta write this shit down.
It's interesting that, that passage, and I understand that that's probably translated, cleaned up through a modern lens, but kind of, it has the same countenance or the same rhythm and feel as what people might call the legitimate modern channeled writings.
Yeah.
Like the Book of the Law.
Yeah.
Which
I was actually thinking about that as I was reading it.
I
wasn't going to say anything.
It reminded me of the Book of Babylon.
Yeah.
But
I was literally thinking about that when I was reading.
Well, and here's the thing, it'd be easy to say well, yeah, because these motherfuckers are copying the old shit. But that rhythm and that feel isn't what other shit from 1100 feels like. Yeah. It almost feels more modern than that, or different. Right. And
Well, it's very raw too. Her admitting it's like she couldn't give herself permission to write down anything that she was doing. She didn't think that she was worth anything. She hesitated. She thought am I really smart enough and good enough to share what I see? Yeah. Would anyone even care? She felt so unworthy that she actually got really sick. After she got this vision, because she got that command from spirit or whoever that was trying to give her permission, hey, I know you're timid. I know you're not confident in your writing, but God approves of you. The heavens do. And that's all that matters. So approach it from that point of view.
Right.
But she just can't. She drives herself sick. But luckily, Volmar is there to encourage her. So with Volmar's encouragement, Hildegard begins writing her visions and their meanings in what would come to be her book Scivias, or in English, Know the Ways of God. Oh, Hildegard she made her own language called Lingua Ignota.
What?
Yeah. It had 900 unique words. She's one of the first recorded conlangers too. That means people who make their own language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's pretty cool.
That's sick. Yeah, hell yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Hildegard is feeling more encouraged now. She starts writing this shit down. And what do you know? People like it.
Yeah. That reminds me of an inversion, sort of inversion of Muhammad's story. Because it was his favorite wife that told him, no, dude, you're not crazy.
Yeah.
You are worthy. You had this vision. You got to say something.
Right.
Every day more nuns flock to Disembodied. Trying to hear what I got to say. It's really weird.
It is really weird.
Does Disembodied mean town of the disembodied?
I don't know.
I think so.
It could. Yeah.
I would bet $1 that it does.
No, keep playing it. God. Volmar's got a part.
For years, I never had a voice. Now I've got one, gotta use it. Do I have a joy?
Hildy, check this out.
The word spreads.
Disembodied, to Rupertsburg, to Hesse-Trail, to outer Germany, to Spain, to Austria.
No. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get behind me, Satan.
Yeah.
Get behind me, Satan.
Yeah, her word's spreading all over the fucking country. Do you love it?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate musical theater. I swear to God, and I could go on. I could talk for like an hour about why, but it's fine. I don't hate that other people like it.
Honestly, I'm not into it, but it's fun. I can dig it. I don't dig the singing style so much.
It triggers something atavistic and violent inside of me.
Weird.
Deep in my DNA.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. See, I think it's kind of like the shows that become popular. It's just like another way of marking the historical period is like whatever musicals are popular at the time.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, no,
another cultural marker.
I understand.
There's like an innate level of cringe to musicals, though, that is undeniable. And I think even fans of them would agree. I mean,
I think that might be the thing that I don't know. No, it's not. There's no groove. There's no groove in musical theater.
Yeah.
The groove shifts to accompany the narration, what they need to say, and that creates a very sober musical experience.
Mm-hmm.
It has no release. It doesn't groove.
I like it for the same reasons why I like really bad movies.
Yeah, I can't do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do reality TV.
Even
like live streamers and shit.
The way you were cringing through Nathan For You.
No, it hurts.
Yeah.
Like it really bothers me.
Yeah.
Shoulders all tight.
It's you were so uncomfortable.
Dude, it's physical. It's a physical thing.
Right. So, Scivias.
Yeah.
She's writing Scivias. And people start reading her work and they really like it.
Oh, yeah.
Even the Pope reads her early writings.
Holy shit.
And Hildy, our sweet Hildy, becomes the first woman ever to be recognized as a prophetess by the Roman Catholic Church.
Whoa.
And also, like, this is interesting because she had some pretty edgy writings that I wonder if the Pope ever read about, like, probably some of the first recorded writings about the female orgasm.
Okay.
She writes about. Also, it's interesting. She wrote about speculating how the strength of the semen determines whether the child will be male or female.
That's true, though.
Yeah.
That's straight up true. It's not strength, but yeah, it's the dude's sperm that determines the sex of the kid. I'm pretty sure that like higher testosterone,
right,
you're more likely to have boys.
And that's
crazy.
She also wrote that the amount of love and passion between the parents determines the child's personality. And it's like, well, I mean,
in a roundabout way.
Yeah. Like
in a magical way. That's absolutely true. But
she saw things from a bunch of different scales.
A very hermetic perspective.
Yeah.
Like that, all of this is very intensely like hermetic, like Pymander and the Asclepius and shit. Like it's not one-to-one, but damn.
So at this point, Hildegard is kind of like a rock star in a way.
Yeah.
And, she's endorsed by the Pope.
Yeah.
So, of course, being endorsed by the Pope, people are going to want to send their daughters to learn from you.
Yeah.
Now she's kind of taking on Yutta's role. I mean, she did. She got the role of abbess.
Yeah.
So enter one particular young woman being sent to learn from her, the 22-year-old Ricardus von Stade. Yes. And Ricardus and Hildegard had a close relationship.
Close relationship.
So Ricardus is Hildegard's primary support and assistant. It's kind of like Hildegard, Ricardus, and Valmar. They're friends, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the point when Hildegard has this vision that she's got to move her convent. She thinks of it as her convent, you know? Because she's at the Debauchery monastery, but she's got this little nun convent going on around her, and she's thinking, Rupertsburg seems like a good location. I think I want to move up there. I think I had a vision that told me I need to. So she goes to the abbot and asks him, and he is totally against it. Abbot Kuno. He's completely against this. And of course he was, because Hildegard is their cash cow. She's bringing a bunch of people to the monastery to see her
she's
speak.
A rock star.
A bunch of people are coming there and donating because, they want to come see fucking famous Hildegard.
Sure.
So they don't want her to go anywhere. They're doing great right there. Why move? And Ricardus's mother even like comes on board to help Hildegard write letters appealing to superiors about needing to move. So there is a song in the musical that is the confrontation between Hildegard and Abbot Kuno of her asking him. And we can listen to it or we cannot listen to it. And it also highlights exactly what we're talking about.
I'm just afraid I'm going to die.
Yeah, of cringe. So this is her and Volmar talking.
Eyes, but don't look at the ground. Do your best to stay engaged, but don't question too much. And be timorous. Don't be smarter than him.
This is ridiculous.
Do you want to stay here forever?
No. I'm getting sick every day I'm here.
Then play by the rules. No, make it seem like it's his idea. Are you sure you don't want me to come in there?
No, I can do it. I should ask.
Good luck.
Abbot Kuno?
Hildegard, confess your sin.
Meanwhile, in real life...
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Right. Okay, so Abbot Kuno is totally against the relocation. We didn't get to hear him sing about it, but that's okay.
Do we need to?
I mean, I'd like to see you suffer through it.
Okay.
And let Christ in to your heart. Congratulations, you ascended to the role of abbess. Renew the beauty of your touch. Keep our monasteries flushed. Now, I know you probably didn't understand what was expected of you at the funeral. A simple song with less detail.
Yeah.
But don't you worry. Your role as abbess is simple. I know you'll do great. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
And have a great day.
Did you ask him?
No.
Get back in there.
This is perfect.
Abbot Kuno, I think you know that this life has been difficult, but it's all for God, so every day's a blessing. But look, so this important burg has been my home for 30 years, but I think that I've outgrown it.
You don't like it here?
I like the idea of the history as a vengeful angel.
Yes. Yes. God. So, Abbot Kuno, he's against the move, doesn't want his cash cow to leave.
He's not cool with it.
But Rupertsburg is supposed to be the place that Hildegard can go and bring her women along and they can do their fucking thing there.
This sounds like Medina with Muhammad. This sounds like Illinois and Utah with Joseph Smith.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, this was supposed to be a place where Hildegard and Ricardus could go to be themselves, where all these women could go to just be themselves. And she wasn't going to let the nasty abbot bring her down. So she continues to write with the help of Volmar and Ricardus, and then she gets an idea. Oh, what do you know? Your prized abbess is suddenly paralyzed and mute.
Oh, shit.
Try to exploit me now. Yep. She just basically won't move or talk.
She crawls into the wall cubby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Abbot Kuno relents. He's like, well, fucking fine.
Yeah.
Fine. I can't do anything. So in 1150, Hildegard and 20 nuns moved to Rupertsburg. And it is entirely barren and there is nothing there and they have to build it all up themselves.
Like, oh, yeah. It's just a place on a map?
Yeah, and it's hard. Yeah. So for 10 years, they're doing the construction and the relocation of the abbey to Rupertsburg.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, she's also composing what's basically like the precursor to operas. And it's called Ordo Virtutum.
Okay, so this is when this shit gets composed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's all about the struggle for the human soul between the devil and the 7 virtues. I mean...
7, you say?
Yeah, let me see what Hildegard's 7 virtues are. We know one of them is contempt for the world.
Fuck yeah.
One of them is fear of God, too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds right.
The virtues are humility, hope, chastity, innocence, contempt for the world, celestial love, discipline with a question mark, and then the name is scratched out in the manuscript, and it says modesty instead.
They meant
mercy.
Fucking.
Yeah. Victory, discretion, patience. This is more than 7. Knowledge of God, charity, fear of God, obedience, and faith. Okay. So in Ordo Virtutum, there are more than 7 virtues.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, 7 is not enough.
Yeah, I just see.
So the opera is supposed to be about the struggle for the human soul between the devil and the virtues.
Yeah.
Or is it?
Or is it?
Because the characters in the opera kind of seem to mirror people from Hildegard's life. Like Ricardus is anima, soul. Yutta is God, and Abbot Kuno is kind of like the devil. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, in a rather sad twist of events, a year after arriving in Rupertsberg, Ricardus's family obtains a position for her as abbess of Bossum. So she's going to have to move away.
She got to go.
The women are going to have to separate. And Hildegard is not happy about this. In fact, she's like devastated about it.
Okay.
She writes a letter to the Pope.
So we're pretty clear on what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Pope like writes back to her, and basically the gist of it is like, you're being a little weird about this. Like,
hell yeah.
Did you not train her so that she could take on a position of leadership? Aren't you? Why?
Is it the whole fucking point?
Yeah, like, shouldn't you be
sleeping on a wall somewhere?
Right. So despite Hildegard's best efforts, Ricardus leaves for Bossum and then dies shortly after arriving.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah. So there you go. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's a tragic lesbian love story movie waiting to happen.
Meanwhile, in the desert, they're like figuring out algebra and shit.
Yeah. Hey, Hildegard's tracking fish migration patterns.
That's sick. That's really cool. Like, that's incredibly cool.
So the first decade at Rupertsberg, like I said, is a challenge because they have to like build themselves from the ground up. And then in 1158, Hildegard embarks on a preaching tour. So like real rock star style now. She's going on tour.
Just doing the circuit.
Right. And it's kind of cool, you know, this woman traveling around speaking to monasteries, speaking to the public, you know, and she's not doing it as a heretic either. She's doing this like with the Pope's approval,
Yeah.
You know, her grandest tour took place when she was 65 years old. And that's the same year she began work on her most ambitious theological work yet, Liber Divinorum Operum, or the Book of Divine Works, which it would take her 10 years to complete. And it is quite the read. It's a heavy read. Like, you gotta know like biblical shit.
So Helen was just doing Hilda's bit.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, word.
Yeah. And so my favorite passage from the Book of Divine Works is when she talks about the universe being like a sphere comprised of other spheres, like all within each other and attached to each other. It's very sort of like Kabbalistic.
Well, it's very Gnostic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that's super Gnostic.
Right.
What year was this?
1163 is when she began working on it.
What the fuck? That's crazy.
The illustrations in it are nuts too. She's definitely.
Yeah.
But while working on her masterpiece, her health continues to suffer. Yet, she manages somehow to open up a second convent across the Rhine, the river, in Eibingen, which she visited twice a week. And she's like in her late 60s at this point. Like she's founding other convents. And,
she's stomping all around.
Yeah, she's traveling all around, doing all sorts of shit. At 72 years old, she embarks on another preaching tour to other regions of Germany. She travels 250 miles on this tour. In 1173, Volmar passes away. Very sad moment. Hildegard is left grieving, and she starts considering her own mortality, decides it's time for me to start thinking about a successor in some way. Like, I'm not going to live forever. And she finds this guy, Godfrey, a monk. But then, oops, he just dies like a year later. So, luckily, Hildegard had a backup.
Excellent.
Hubert of Gemblow.
None of this shit's real.
Hubert of Gemblow. Yeah. So he's invited to be Hildegard's secretary, and he stays with her until she dies. And, yeah, she lives like the last 6 months of her life in relative peace. She dies September 17th, 1179, and accounts of her death say that when she died, 2 arcs of colored light illuminated the sky.
Double rainbow.
Yeah. Her heart and tongue are preserved in the golden reliquary in the parish church of Eibingerstrasse in Rudesheim on the River Rhine. Yeah, so you can go see her heart and tongue, I guess.
What the fuck is wrong with us?
There's also a walking path called like the Hildegard Way where you can sort of like walk along basically, cool. Which is really cool. But there's still like people that venerate her and worship her to this day and like keep up her sacred sites.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like she deserves it.
Yeah. Yeah, and finally, Pope Benedict the whatever ordered Hildegard's name to be inscribed in the catalog of saints in 2012.
Oh, wow.
So it took a long time. But now she's, officially Saint Hildegard.
Yeah.
She's part of the Universal Church. And so Christina of Markyate is also, she's Saint Christina. She's also been
canonized.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the one who grew up in fucking Catholic extended family. I should know this shit.
I don't know any of it.
You're a Jewess.
Right.
I'm the Catholic boy.
Right.
Grandma fucking baptized me without anyone's consent. She told me a different story. It still involved baptism without consent.
Yeah.
It's a different story. I don't know which one is true, but I know I'm not going to hell.
So thinking about the 10 of Pentacles, right?
I have been too, because it's very much like 10. It's the end of a cycle, but it's also the beginning of a cycle, right? Yes.
So it makes me think of like, it's a long-term sort of card. I don't know. Because you see like, okay.
It's a tough one, but there's something here. I've got some ideas.
There's this older gentleman, and he's sitting down, stage left, the bottom left corner. And he's sort of like, there's 2 dogs sitting by him. And then there's also a couple behind him, and it looks like a town.
Yeah.
There's a town. And I get the sense of this older gentleman being an important member of the community. Like he's feeding these dogs. He's an important guy, right?
He also has a whole life behind him that you can't see here.
Yeah. And these people behind him, these younger people, have a whole life ahead of them. There's one facing the viewer and there's one facing away.
Right.
These 2 people in the background.
To me, that's...
And there's also a small child who's actually quite hidden. I didn't even notice it in the card until just now, who's petting a dog. So there's really sort of all cycles of life stages represented here.
With the things they know and don't know and can only assume and be taught.
Right.
And teach.
Yeah.
It definitely speaks to a lot of the anachronisms of both Christina and Hildegard.
Right.
And believe the astrological attribution of the 10 of discs is Mercury and Virgo.
Mm-hmm. Like...
which is Mercury the messenger.
Yeah. Both of them were thinking long term. They were very willing to sacrifice in order to serve something larger than themselves, which is really hard to do. That takes an enormous amount of, I mean, I don't even know the word for it.
Chutzpah? Is it chutzpah?
Chutzpah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Courage is the word.
Courage and a willingness and acceptance of suffering as a condition of human life. The way that they both embrace suffering, even.
Yeah, in a way that so much of the shit that was going on in, both those stories happened in the same century.
Right.
And like a lot of fucking nonsense I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Just gonna lock a bitch in a wall like that?
Right. And I
don't like it.
You almost have to feel like your suffering was for a holy purpose in order to like get through some of that shit. It like just makes it.
Or you can make it for a holy purpose.
Exactly.
You can be the one left standing at the end of it. You can be the old man.
You can become a phoenix.
Telling the story.
Right. You can alchemize all of those awful fucking experiences and turn it into. Yeah. Becoming something and someone greater than you ever could have expected.
Yeah. And I like that you used alchemy in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not, but it also speaks to I don't know if there's a card that's more about the conditions we're in right now.
Yeah.
Than the 10 of discs. Cause like, that's the whole culmination.
Right.
That's all of the rest of the tarot.
Also,
everything comes together in the 10 of discs.
This, the older man in the foreground, he's sitting in front of this arc that you see the town and the younger people through.
He's
so
where the fool, he's the fool.
Right.
That's where the fool ends up.
Yeah.
Right? Like the fool starts off like, well, I'm dancing with a dog. It's a great time. And he goes through all this shit. He doesn't know what the hell life is. He doesn't know what the world is. He goes through all this bullshit.
He's just got 2 dogs. He's petting them.
He's got 2 dogs, not the same dog.
So stoic.
And he's telling stories.
Yeah.
He's been through some shit. He's watched the tower fall. He's dealt with death. He's done all that shit. He's lived in a tiny little dollhouse.
And also this arc separates him from the town behind him. Mm-hmm. He's sitting on the other side of the arc that you look through and see everything behind him.
Right. Which has to be the fucking what the anchorite house is a literalized representation of.
Yeah. Because like these women's stories spoke to me personally because their lives are kind of marked by this painful sense of isolation.
Yes.
Yes. It's just sad to say, but and their circumstances were unusual and highly demanding in a way that they had to turn to spirituality in order to survive.
Yeah.
And to make it through those challenging circumstances. And they dealt with adversity and tragedy in some pretty fucking creative ways, like pretending to be comatose to stick it to the monks that don't want you to move away, or dressing up like a dude and mounting a horse and never looking back.
Yeah.
Or like hanging by your fucking fingernails to escape being raped because your whole family is evil.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane.
Like, and Hildegard, the fact that she was so overcome with self-doubt that she made herself physically sick and didn't even travel hardly outside of her cell or outside of the convent until she was in her 40s. And then she went on all of her tours and stuff in her 60s, like all those great things she did later in life. And she was self-taught. Sure, Yutta helped her read, but she was never confident in herself. And all of her observations, all of her talent was because she took the time to do it and teach herself, and she did great things. And it shows you that, I don't know, I found it very inspiring.
Hell yeah. No, she's really, really cool.
It made me think about like my own approach to making music, which is like, you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. Just enjoy yourself. Mm-hmm. Just compose. Let the spirit flow through you. See what happens.
Yeah.
Make some good shit. Yeah.
Just dance through life.
Right. So I want to close out with a quote.
Okay.
From Hildegard. We cannot live in a world interpreted for us by others. An interpreted world is not a hope. Part of the terror is to take back our own listening, to use our own voice, to see our own light. There you have it, folks.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's sick.
Yeah, interpret your own world.
Why the fuck have I never heard of her before?
Right? Now you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Good shit, dude.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
Yeah. That's it. Get out of here.
Make your way to the exit. Yeah.
Throw your phone out the window.
So rate us on all the things. Give us 5 stars.
Like us.
Please.
Just in your head.
Please accept us.
If you like what we do, show us some love wherever you listen.
Yeah.
Tell other people. Tell your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Tell your anchoress.
Yeah.
Which is just that weird old woman that lives down the road.
Yes.
Yell at her through her window while she's yelling at you through her window.
Yeah, pass her some food through the window. Through her hagioscope. Or whatever.
She's hungry.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.